to get on reality TV, huh? Well, you're in the right spot. My name is Quinn. I was on Big Brother 26, and it wasn't so long ago that I was just like you, standing on the sidelines, eagerly waiting for my opportunity to show the world what I had to offer and stick my toes in the reality TV waters. So I did days, weeks, months of absorbing every piece of media regarding the casting process. And so I'm here today to spread the wealth and share with you what got me on the most competitive reality TV show out there and achieving my dreams. Join me in the lab and let's see if we can learn something today. So allow me to welcome you to Quinn's Declassified Casting Survival Guide, where I'll explain how I went from superfan to megastar, from the seat to the screen. And it all starts with putting together your pregame, okay? The casting video is the start of it all. And so I want you to put in an immense amount of thought to show how badly you want this, all right? I think that the key to casting is preparation mixed with honesty. And as we put together our casting game plan, I want you to be super transparent, honest, and thorough. I want you to create a Google Doc where you write down every single aspect of yourself from birth until now, okay? I want you to talk about every club, every hobby, every organization you've been a part of, and really go into the details here, okay? Do you want to be in the Big Brother house? Do you want to be on an island in Fiji? Do you want to choose between cases as if there's some skill there and it's not all luck on Deal or No Deal Island? I'm pissed, all right? You got to put in work. So quit complaining and get your fingers on the keyboard and start working, okay? There is no such thing as too much information as you're putting together your casting game plan. And then what I want you to do after you've given it your all, okay? You're going to recharge your all and go through highlighting the most important, crucial, interesting aspects of yourself. Interesting is the crux of casting, okay? They don't necessarily care if you're going to be good at the game. They're not going to put anyone in the house that isn't capable of winning. They're not going to send you out to Fiji if they think you're going to be the first boot, but maybe they will if you're interesting. That's what's interesting about reality TV, is that it highlights unique characters that you wouldn't meet in the real world, in your day-to-day life. And so I want you to show off what it is about yourself that makes you unique. And there's no such thing as a boring person. It just depends how much you love yourself and how much you're willing to brag about yourself, okay? Because we're all interesting and we're all capable of being on TV. It's just a matter of showing these casting directors what we have to offer, okay? You don't get diamonds without a little bit of pressure, all right? So put in the work and we'll find that diamond within yourself, okay? After you've done this, you are going to decide, okay? Are you a one-take baddie or a multi-shot queen? My friend, my pal, Corey Wurtenberger, he is a one-take baddie. He's in his, college dorm room. He whips out the camera, and he just starts talking. He's showing off all those interesting things that we want to know, but he's doing it in one take. He's cooking, and then he's gone. Compare that to me. I'm a multi-shot queen. I took the time to plan out each shot. This is how long I need it to be. It's 3 minutes. We're going to stick within it, and we're going to put forth the work that demands respect, okay? There is no right answer between one take and a multi-shot queen. There isn't. But you have to be careful. If you're going to do a one shot, make sure you're not rambling too much to where it's boring. Make sure it's useful. And if you're going to have multi-shots, make sure it's not too much so that all of a sudden it paints a picture that the only way you are serviceable is if you've been cut into 1,000 pieces offering the shiniest of turds. No, it's okay to mess up, but just keep moving forward because that's what they're looking for in the diary room or in your confessionals, things like that, okay? Next up, we have to tackle our don't intro in the casting video. If anything, outside of showing that beautiful face of yours and offering a peek into the interesting life that you live, if you do anything, you're going to tell them your don't intro. I went to a small liberal arts college in the middle of Nebraska, and it's called Doane University, and we have our Doane intro. My name is Quinn Martin. I'm a business administration major from Lawton, Oklahoma, the Shady 580. I have minors in communication and accounting. I'm involved in student congress as the vice president. I'm a member of the Doman soccer team. I run indoor track with the distance squad, and I am the alumni liaison for Alpha Pi Epsilon fraternity, right? Like, we are showing the best parts of ourselves at the start of each conversation. And this applies to your casting video. You're going to show off your name. My name is Quinn. I'm 26 years old from Lawton, Oklahoma, working in Omaha, Nebraska as a nurse recruiter, and I am chronically single. Each one of these things that you are offering, like your age, your location, your job, your relationship status, are all threads for a casting director to call you, reach out for their inaugural conversation, and they're going to pull at these threads and decide, okay, is this person interesting? I said I was in Omaha, Nebraska, the Midwest, middle of America, and I'm talking about my fast, right? What am I going to do with the money? I'm going to buy caviar and pearls for me and all my friends. I've never had caviar because I'm from the Midwest, but it sounds expensive, so I want to try it. And they're like, okay, well, tell me about someone who's wearing pearls in the middle of Nebraska. What's your fashion sense? How are you received? Each conversation point that I am bringing up is something to build on a greater story. And that's what casting is, proving that you are a good storyteller. Can you reiterate what you just experienced throughout the day in an interesting bite-sized piece? Fingers crossed, because then that's how you end up on the screen. All right. Next up, we need to be able to define our why. Dan Giesling describes our whys as adventure, fame, competition, super fan, and the need for money. All right. But the truth is, you need all of this. It's not enough to say you're a super fan. There are 10,000 super fans applying right now, and they're reaching out to someone on Instagram who's never heard of the show. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to show them more, all right? What are you going to do with the money? I talked about how I want to use the money to send my friend Sean, who is bald, to Turkey to get hair plugs, okay? Not everything has to be a sob story. Just show that you're interesting through these different facets, all right? I'm seeking adventure. You want to know how? I live an interesting life. I go rock climbing, all right? Now, all of a sudden, I'm offering tools to show that I am someone who is going to do well in these competitions. And I even relate it to that in my casting video, all right? The seeking of fame is something that I would shy away from. Even if that's what you're looking for, no one wants to see you go in the Big Brother house and just like, fingers crossed, you get a bunch of followers on Instagram. So honestly, I think that this is outdated. Maybe you can use fame as a platform to talk about your need for attention, something like that. I think that that might be valuable, but probably not. I don't know. But competition. Big Brother is a competition reality show. Survivor is a competition reality show. You have to show that you're competitive, because at the end of the day, they don't want someone who's going to give up. They want someone who's going to be in this show from start to finish, trying to win. And I think that that is best shown in Tucker and I's relationship. If you zoom in to the bare bones, what it breaks down to is two very competitive people who want to be better than the other person. And so now we have Tucker, he's yapping at me, I'm snapping back too, because we both want the same thing, and that's to win. All right? So show how competitive you are. I talked about being a dual sport collegiate athlete. You don't get to college by being normal or the standard. You have to want it more. I showed off how competitive I'm going to be by highlighting my size. I'm 5'6", 135 pounds, but I run a 4:52 mile? Are you kidding me? I'm going to be a dog in the house. Just give me a chance. All right? Figure out what that looks like for you and capitalize. All right? Use this opportunity to figure out who you are so that then when they ask you the questions, you can answer them. And then lastly, for your casting game plan, research good casting videos. I will link a Google Doc with all my favorite casting videos. But if you don't want to do the research on that, I'll tell you right now. Watching my casting video is a great decision. Watching Eric Reichenbach's video for Survivor is a great decision. Watching Corey's video is a great decision. James Hewling, Zach Wertenberger has a great video about casting, and it's worth checking out. I think Swaggy C has one of the most like interesting casting videos I've ever seen. I watch it, and my takeaway is I understand why they got the call. And if when you preview your video, you don't feel that same way, you need to edit it and create a better version of it. At the end of the day, that's the best thing you can do, is go through, refine it, and make yourself desirable. Now it's game time, okay? You've recorded your video. You're like super excited. It's going to be great. Let's make sure that we've exercised the best video practices. It needs to be horizontal, okay? Even if that means it's just you holding out your phone like this and talking in your car, that is decades better than recording like this, okay? If you want to get a little stand, it's $40 on Amazon. Get to work on the expensive end, okay? Outside of that, I need to make sure that we're not doing this. And the reason why is because your video is going to be not on someone's phone, but their computer. And so you want to make sure you look the best, better than you've ever looked before. There's one shot of my video. I'm so pissed, but I couldn't show off my outfit the way I wanted to, like this. So I bit the bullet and did this. But luckily, I used those black bars as a space to provide pictures backing up the stories that I'm sharing. Okay? You have to be intentional with your casting video, or at least I was, and that's what gave me success, a leg up on the other super fans. You also need to fit within the time frame. So often I see on YouTube when people are sharing their experience with casting, they're like, yeah, if you want to make it 4 minutes, even though it says 3, do it. It might work out for you. And the truth is, it worked out for them, but 99.9% of the people who also made their video longer than 3 minutes, they didn't get that call, or they didn't get far in the casting process. The people you're seeing are the results of successful storytelling. So therefore, it like emboldens their point. But I think you need to show that you can work within the rules, because number one, that shows that you'll be able to cooperate throughout the actual show, follow the rules set before you. And then it also shows that you can be quick and concise, which is what they're looking for in the diary room or in your confessionals. I want you to speak from the diaphragm, okay? My communication professor, shout out Amanda, would beat us to a pulp if we were going to sit there in class and talk like this. This is not compelling. This is actually very boring, and no one wants to hear from it. All right, so speak from the diaphragm, and project, okay? Be an interesting communicator, okay? If your whole personality is that you're very dry, like Joseph, and you're more reserved, that's fine, but you have to find what speaking from the diaphragm and projecting is like for you. I'm a very loud, obnoxious, in-your-face type of person. So when I'm telling stories, I get worked up like this. Me in the diary room, that's not unique. That's who I am in real life. So that's what I showed in my casting video. And I guarantee you, when you watch Corey's video, he's talking just like he talks in the diary room. That's what you're showing. Adam Klein highlights that in his casting videos. And I think that that is so money. You are showing yourself in the diary room. You are showing yourself in a confessional. And that's where our success is found. Be interesting behind the camera, and you're going to go far in the casting process. I believe it, and so do you. You know it's true, all right? So get out there, pedal to the metal, project, talk in a way that demands respect and shows off your personality. That's honest to you. I also want you to be intentional with your settings and your outfits, okay? When Corey is in his room, he's in a college dorm room. He's telling a story. He's the young guy. He's smart. He's a student. He's showing off his textbooks and stuff like that. That, whether it's intentional or not, is telling a story, and it paints a picture of who he is within the house. He was the young student. That's who he is. That's what his archetype is. Me, I showed off my 1968 Volkswagen Beetle broken down on the side of the road to show off my interesting personality. I'm wearing a soccer jersey. They know I'm athletic. And in each shot, I'm wearing a different outfit that shows off my sense of style. Okay. Don't wear a suit in every single shot because that's your best, most like stylish clothes. Wear what you wear in real life, but what you're doing is showing off what that looks like. There's a function to each second in your casting video, and I want you to take advantage of this opportunity, okay? I showed off my prison pants, my like velvet green bow tie, and my paisley velvet button up. I showed that off in the second shot of my casting video, and then you fast forward to me in the Big Brother house. I am wearing that for my jury roundtable. I want you to show who you will be. And I think that that's where the successful people are. They're just being honest. And so that's what you can do. Next up, not too many cuts now. All right. If every 2 seconds it's cutting around and you're bouncing around, and so it's like, my name is Quinn and I'm from Lawton, Oklahoma, Shady 580. That is terrible. Worse than garbage. Dog water. Go out there, and if you don't get it in your first shot, get this, in the diary room, you can do another take, all right? How many times do you think I was in the diary room saying, Big Dog Z, 1,000,001? But they got the one they needed, they put it in the show, and now it's iconic. I think it's iconic. If you don't agree, get out of my video and hold that. I'm just kidding. But this is what we're doing. We're showing that we can be serviceable within the metrics of their show. So if you mess up, do another take because this is important to you. And with the minimal numbers of cuts, it just shows that you care. And I don't know. I think that helped me. Hopefully it helps you, but that's where I think the value is going throughout this. Next up, here are some things to consider. You've got your video, you've done all the best practices, you're super proud of yourself. Before you submit, show it to your friends. If it's so earth-shatteringly like embarrassing to show your best friends, ask yourself if that's really you. It's a transparent, vulnerable moment of showing like, hey, this is how I want to present myself to a casting team. I get that, but I showed all my friends because I was so proud of who it is. And as they're watching my casting video, they're like, yo, this is Quinn. Yeah, that's you, bro. And that's what you want. You want your video to be honest to who you are. Next up is ask yourself, how does this connect to the game? You know, I talked about my social threat in the house is going to be super high, but I'm not going to monologue for 8 years about, I'm actually like super social and like no one's going to be able to vote me out. No, I instantly showed like, what does that look like in the real life or in real life situations? I was voted most likely to brighten your day in high school. I was homecoming Duke in college, and I won student Congress vice president with 73% of the vote. I crushed the guy sitting next to me, just like I'm going to do to the poor sitting next to me on finale night. That is a direct line from my casting video, and that shows what my social game looks like. Okay? If I have a track record of showing that I'm successful in social circles on a broad scale, that is something that they can use to pitch you. I hang out with my friends a lot. It's like really fun. That's like cool, I guess. But everyone hangs out with their friends. Let's get deeper. Let's talk about what that looks like. I hang out with my friends who are very unique people. And then I'm able to hang out with my coworkers who are very different, but I'm still successful in these. You get what I'm saying, okay? Show off how competitive you are, okay? I talked about being a dual sport athlete. I showed that I want to be the best. I said that they were going to retire my jersey and hang it in the rafters on finale night. I want to be the best. I want to play this game with style, presentation, and swag. I said you should cast me over everyone else. I gave like a direct reason of why I'm better than everyone else. I said these other house guests can't compete when they can't compare. You have to have an attitude. Be cocky. Show off that you love yourself and you believe in yourself, because when things get tight in the house and you need to feel froggy, your base layer needs to be confident so you can move forward. Unless being insecure is the story that they're going to build on, I think confidence is the best avenue forward, or at least it was for me. Next up, you need to show how strategic you are, Show off that you're smart. I highlighted that I was a super fan and how that's going to apply to the game. Stuff like that. Everything you say needs to be able to connect to the games that you are wanting to play. And the casting directors will be able to see a lot of that. So you don't have to like spoon feed it so directly where you're like social, competitive, and strategy. No, but have that framework in your head as you're telling stories about yourself. And I want you to show off your range. Are you really loud like this, but you're also capable of being a little bit more direct and focused? That was something where I would be in the casting calls, during the Zoom meetings, whatever. I would be very high and bubbly and super energetic. And then when they would answer or ask me a question and expect me to answer with like certainty and confidence, I would visibly lock in and provide my answer, showing that I'm capable of both. I'm a very funny person who can be serious. It's just showing off every element of yourself and showing that you're a real person. And that's going to look great on the TV screen. All right. I believe in you. Next up, like I said, give that hard pitch. You should cast me over everyone else because I'm the most equipped to play this game with style, presentation, and swag. Speak with definitives. Believe in yourself, okay? And then plant these seeds to elaborate on the call. And that includes your bio. When I did my casting video, I had all these things, this laundry list of everything I wanted to share, but I didn't include all of it in the video. I also wrote it down, different stories in the bio of the application. I told them about most likely I stood on one leg while blindfolded and beat the world record. I told them about like just a bunch of different stories in the bio so they could ask me about that moving forward. You've submitted, and now you're waiting to get a call from your local friendly neighborhood casting director. Okay? Practice for real makes perfect. And so I really want you to ask yourself like 1,000,001 questions. Leave no stone unturned. I'm going to include a video to watch Mike Bloom's Survivor preseason interviews. I stole this from Brandon Donlin. I would watch those videos, press pause, and then practice in my car, okay? Things I had considered was adjectives to describe myself. And then I would ask my friends too. And then if you watch my preseason interview, they ask you, what's one word to describe yourself? Do it 3 times. Come up with possible alliance names. If you look at my Google Doc, I have the collective in there. Okay? This is something that's been important to me. And as a super fan, which you probably are, you need to show off what does that super fandom look like. I've been thinking about what I'm going to name my secret alliance since I was in middle school. And here it is, because they'll ask. So be ready to answer. I had a marketing myself. This is quick blurbs like Midwest Heartthrob. That was my tag throughout the live feeds. You ask anyone, I'm the Midwest Heartthrob. I am known looking at the camera saying, I am not this like whatever puppy. I am a turbulent leopard seal, okay? Comparing yourself to an animal is a great way of showing off your creativity. And I don't know, that's just a natural application from my life. I compare myself to animals. I say I'm a rat in a cage all the time. And so I just think that that's valuable. But think about what's interesting. Are you a chameleon? If so, you better be able to sell it in a way that's interesting and not boring TV. Oh, you blend into the background? Yawn! That's great for the game of Survivor and Big Brother, being able to blend, but that's not the most interesting thing that's going to get you in the house and on the island. So that's just something to consider. I shared my life mottos like burn bright, die young. I shared that in my Jerry O'Connell exit interview. In my cool quotes section, this is something that wasn't included on the show, but it's something I said in the diary room. Information is like a bottle of fine wine. You take it and you store it and wait for the right opportunity, and then you christen the ship. That is a direct line that I said with Cedric's eviction. And I think that it's important to have these like one liners ready and locked to go. You can repeat yourself once you get into the house. Tucker did it a million times. In his preseason interview, he talks about how he's been the bully and he's been bullied. He said that to me in the house like 3 different times. There's nothing wrong with that because that's who we are. You know, during the casting process, I guarantee you, Angela talked about being like the naughty mom. And then in the house, she kept talking about how naughty she is. And she uses curse words and she swears. Woo. Like, this is an interesting thing. So I get why they're saying it. And it's okay to repeat yourself in the house, but you just have to have these things ready and locked to go. I had my dislikes. I hate hypnotism. That's a real fact about me. It freaks me out. I had prepared what I do different than the season before. Oh, you think you'll be a better player than Jag? What would you have done different? Well, in the formation of the Onion Alliance, I would have been less transparent about there being the like family style and the handful, right? That was clear as day. I had that locked and loaded. Show off why you're going to be a competition threat, right? I was a state cup champion, okay? I'm a dog. I'm out here to compete. Let's cook, okay? Social examples. I was homecoming dude, all right? Strategy ideas. Show off that you know how to form an alliance. An Onion Alliance is this bigger group, and then within that, you have your core, the Pentagon and the collective. Maybe don't tell them you'll flip on it because you think that's boring TV. Maybe do. But you have to show that you understand the show that you're going to be on, and then talk about your types, okay? This circles back to the relationship status thing. I said I was chronically single. And they're like, oh, well, like, tell me about your ex-girlfriend. Well, she was a cheerleader and she's like the coolest person I know. You need to be able to explain who you're into and why you're into them. I like very powerful, confident women, you know? Meryl Streep, Ice Spice. This is who I'm into, all right? What are you talking about? Here's some extra things, okay? Practice talking out loud in your car. You might look crazy, but when you're on TV, we'll see who's laughing now because it paid off, okay? I'm going to include a bunch of stuff in the interview or in the description to help with your interview that I think is valuable, but just practice talking about yourself. Even the most self-centered people have to be able to do it in an interesting way, and so you need to practice that, okay? Go out and live an interesting life. Arissa Cox talks about how they are looking for people with an interesting life because after you're on the show, that's what's in front of you now. My life will never be the same now that I've been on Big Brother and I've achieved my dreams, and I need to be able to show that I'm capable of that. And so go out, participate in the world around you because you need to be interesting. If you have a boring job, you should use that as a tool to highlight your passions. This casting call is not an opportunity for free therapy. Do not spend your opportunity venting and complaining about every bad thing that's ever happened to you in life. Unless that is a critical part of your character and it connects to all the things that I mentioned before, I just want you to be able to show off that you live an awesome life. I hated being a nurse recruiter. Oh my God. It was so boring. I hated it. It was terrible. Yawn, snooze fest. But they've never had a nurse recruiter before. And so I'm going to use this opportunity to highlight how the job is going to help me in the Big Brother house and then explain it as an opportunity to show off that I have more ambition for myself. I'm like, yeah, I like to go to work and clock in. My coworkers are great, but it's so boring. I'm going to do great with anyone over the age of 35. Why? Well, at my nurse recruitment job, everyone I know is 35 years old or older, and they huddle around me like a campfire trying to absorb the youth from my bones, and I'm not going to let them do it. These are all things I talked about in the casting process, and so it's like having shame in yourself is embarrassing, okay? Shame is just like proof that you've grown and that you're better. And so if you look at any element of yourself, currently that you want to change it. Be a better person, but don't be ashamed of yourself. I think the reason why I was such a polarizing character, some people loved me, some people hated me. A lot of people hated me. And it's because they wanted me to hate myself as much as they disliked me. But when I look at myself, I'm filled with pride because I'm a confident person who just wants to live their life and be weird and interesting. That's endearing. That's powerful. And if you have that within yourself, confidence is key. Go be great because the casting process is very insecuring. It's going to highlight everything that you're scared of being exposed, and you're going to feel like the girl next door hoping to get invited to homecoming. It's scary and you're going to be filled with anxiety, but the payoff is worth it. And so you just have to keep betting on yourself. Because if you feel the pressure and you shrink, that's just going to show what happens when you're on camera. If you use the opportunity to have the moment and you grow, you capitalize, and you deliver from start to finish in the casting process, show that you're adaptable, show that you can grow. That shows that you're going to be good TV, you're going to take this seriously, and you're going to be able to provide what they want. An interesting person locked in an interesting situation. Thank you so much for watching. Follow me on Instagram. Check me out on Twitch every now and Quinn. And if you have any other questions, you need more answers, feel free to check me out on Cameo. I'm happy to provide advice. But thank you so much. You can do this. Believe in yourself, okay? The path is going to be difficult, but you're here to deliver, and you're here to prove that you are one of the 16 people in America that's ready for this opportunity. When you put it that way, that's pretty exciting, okay? This is your chance to succeed, and I can't wait to see you take it, all right? Do your job, prepare, and succeed. I believe in you. Thank you so much, and I yield my time. Mwah! Bye!